Pleasantville was a deserted area of Lastro when I was elected in 1956 as the first Minister of Housing in the first PNM government. And I had the honor of being able to find this area and to found this area and to build the first houses here. And here it was that we started our self-help projects. And with every house that we built, we gave one fruit tree. And Mr. Gorda was telling me tonight that he remembered my telling the people as I would hand over the houses, I give you one fruit tree, you will plant the others. Make this your home, make this your area, and you certainly have. I see fruit trees all around, and this area, of course, has grown tremendously since I left it. But now let us talk about today. We only have a few hours left before Judgment Day comes for us, and we have no doubt whatever that Judgment Day will see the Honorable Patrick Manning returned as Prime Minister of this country. And I will have a special feeling of happiness to see Patrick as Prime Minister. I understand. All of us will have it. All of us will have a special feeling of happiness. But I will have an even more special period of happiness. You see, in 1956, when I was first elected, Patrick Manning's father was my campaign manager. But the association goes back even further. His father and I were acolytes in the Anglican Church when we were young men together, young boys together. And his wife used to be, and his mother used to be in the choir with me too. So you see, the association goes way back, and Patrick went to college with my sons. That's right. And he told me the other day with some degree of mirth, he says, you know, Gerard, you gave me my first job. Because I used to be then in charge of Imperial Stores, and the young kids used to come at Christmas time asking for little jobs at Christmas time. And whom did I employ but Patrick Manning, the future Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, can you understand that I tell you I have a special pride in seeing him become Prime Minister on Monday? Very special pride. Now, let us look at the situation. Let us see what has happened. In 1986, PNM lost office after 30 years in office. And we lost office because we had grown old and tired. We were not as sufficiently well organized as we should have been. All kinds of charges were laid against us. People wanted a change, and they got a change. We got a change, all right. But you know the old saying, you never miss the water till the well runs dry? Well, we miss that water. We miss that water like nothing else. And we're putting back that water now. We're going back to the well now. You people are the well that we're tapping now. You people are the water that will bring PNM back to office. You people have been the people who suffered for the last 5 years. You suffered terribly with the pressure that we had from the NAR. Now we will come back to office. They criticized us on everything we did. They said we had wasted all the money that we had and we had built nothing, we had done nothing, and the money had been frittered away in corruption and the rest of it. But isn't it strange that every time a foreign visitor comes here, they take him to visit the Mount Hope Hospital, the finest hospital in the West Indies, and a hospital that compares favorably with any that you will find in the developed world. And you remember when the NAR came to power, the new Prime Minister, Robbie, says he wouldn't work at Whitehall, it was a slum. It wasn't a slum for Chambers. It wasn't a slum for Dr. Eric Williams, but it was a slum for Robbie. And what did he do then? He moved into the Twin Towers, which they had called a white elephant. Yes, they call it a white elephant. But he took his office there, a luxurious office. Don't mind. That is the office that Patrick will inherit. It's quite all right. The only difference is that he was a tenant for 5 years, and Patrick will be a tenant for another 30. And what do we have in this constituency this time? The NAR brings a lady here, Lady Jennifer, and he brings her from Princestown. Why did he bring her from Princestown, you know? Because there was no way she could make it in Princestown. She had abandoned the constituency. They don't know her, they don't want her, and she can't even go and talk in that constituency. Here we're a little more polite. We let her talk, but we don't bother with her. What time? In the Red House. Let her talk in the Red House. But we have to look and see what it is they have or have not done. They came in with a wonderful manifesto. They thought it was so wonderful that they had to lay it in Parliament as a special paper. And they laid it as a special paper. But 99% of what they said they would do in the manifesto, they haven't done yet. They've done nothing. And I want to ask them this. They said that we wasted money. And they asked us, where did all these billions of dollars go? Well, you can look around. You can see new industries in Savanetta. You can see a new hospital. You can see a whole lot of new schools. You can see a new courthouse. You can know that we built 60,000 houses, and so on and so forth. That's where all the money went. You can also know that we subsidized food, that we introduced school feeding for the children, school feeding which they stopped, and so on. You can see all of that. You can know all of that. But after 30 years, we had left a debt of $8 billion. In 5 years, only in 5 years, they have doubled that debt, $8 billion. And what they owe the civil service and the workers at Caroni and the daily paid workers and so is perhaps another $2 billion. They have added then about $10 billion in the 5-year period. And I ask them over and over, everywhere I go, tell us, where in heaven's name did they spend that money? Because in 5 years they have collected no less than $45 billion. Where did they spend it? Nothing. The Deepwater Harbor. The Deepwater Harbor. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're quite right. And the Deepwater Harbor, they said, was going to cost $49 million. They have already spent over $100 million, and they're still hiding it because they're still digging there, and it's not finished. And Colum Imbert, who was the marine engineer who advised the PNM government that that harbor was impractical and should not be built, and they have the copy of that report. He will tell you, if you hear him, that by the time they finish, it will have cost $160 million. More than 3 times what they had estimated for it. And they were the ones who said we always went over in our estimates. And what is worse, that is a white elephant, because the big ships that are coming in can't park there. So it was a hopeless waste of money. He wanted a deepwater harbor for Tobago, and he built a harbor, but he didn't build a deep harbor. That as we now are about to cast our votes, and although we know that we have a majority, we do not have that majority and will not have it unless I came to hear Patrick Manning tonight. So I'm going to make room now for the future Prime Minister of this country.